see the mess that is my bookshelves right now. Like, I'm still like cleaning up after the book haul, but then I also have like all of these random books in the front and then my library book haul as well. And I just need to get these cleaned up. So it's Saturday, February 1st, and these shelves are annoying me so much. It's gonna be my main project this weekend, is to get these shelves cleaned up. I might do some sort of like bookshelf reorganization or bookshelf tour or something coming up soon, hopefully. Once I get these shelves in order, let me know in the comments if that's something you're interested in. As for reading, right now, I'm just completely off TBR. Last night, I randomly decided to pick up The Color of Magic by Terry Prachett. Well, it wasn't completely random. I needed an audiobook, and I didn't want to use any of my current books that I was reading as audiobooks, but I had loved Guards, which is one of the books in the Discworld series. It's like further along in the series, but it's like a different, I don't know, like story arc, if that makes sense. And I listened to the audiobook for Guards like last year sometime, and I really liked it. And I thought it would be a good way to get back in the series. And I had it on my loan shelf, and it was due in like 4 days. So I was like, you know what? Let me just pick up The Color of Magic. And if I don't like it, it's fine. I'll put it down and I'll try it again later. I am loving this so much right now. I did not expect to like this because, mind you, I've tried to read this book twice before. I did not like it either times. I DNF'd it both times. There was another book in the Discworld series that I read, Mort, which I liked a lot of the concepts of and I liked the world of, but the book itself I did not enjoy. But I think I'm understanding the humor more now and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I'm enjoying this a lot. I think part of it too is like I'm an auditory learner, so like when I listen to things I get more context from them, and also like I think the voice actor does help with that as well. But yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot. I think I might go completely off TBR in February because like I have access to a lot of the Discworld books, both physically and on audio. So if I am enjoying this series as much as I think I'm gonna enjoy it, I might just binge read the series. Well, I mean, not the whole series. Like this series is like 41 books and I've only read 2 of them in the series. So like obviously not gonna read the whole series anytime soon, but like this was on my long-term TBR. I just wasn't planning to get to it in like January, February of this year. But if I'm liking it this much, I might delay some of my other goals, like for example, Malazan or the Stormlight Archive, in favor of this series instead, because it is one of the 3 big series that I do want to finish. I had just planned to finish this one in 2026 and those in 2025, but I'm okay to swap that. Like I really am if this is what I'm in the mood for. And right now it is really working for me. So my shelves are looking a little bit better now that I've cleared it up a little bit. So I can at least do some filming today, but it's like putting lipstick on a pig because like they're not in order at all. I added a bunch of like my book of the month fantasy books to like the shelf under my TV. Like it's right here and they're not in any kind of order. I literally just stuck them in there in whatever order I found them. So that I'm gonna have to redo. I think the rest of my fantasy shelves are probably fine, but I also do think I'm gonna have to redo this order because this order does not make sense anymore. It used to be like a rainbow shelf, but I feel like I can't make a proper rainbow with the books that I have. So I'm gonna have to figure that out later this week as well. Forgot to mention the books that I'm like currently reading, sort of. Oh my gosh, ow. We have The Empire's Ghost, which I'm about halfway through now, so I should be finishing it this week. I'm enjoying this quite a bit. I think in my last vlog I mentioned that it feels a little derivative of like A Song of Ice and Fire because it has like similar names of like towns and stuff like that, and it has like a bunch of different characters, and it's like following like different plot lines for each of those characters. This is part of my Read It or On Haul vlog though, so that vlog's gonna come out before this one, so more info on this in that vlog, but I'm enjoying it a lot so far. And then also, probably in that vlog, I don't know yet, I'm planning to start An Ember in the Ashes today by Sabaa Tahir, which I have started in the past, but I started on audio. I did not like the audiobook, so I plan to hopefully, potentially binge read this book over the next like day or so because I really wanted a book to binge read over the weekend. That is my plan for this book. But again, this is part of my Read It or On Haul challenge. It will be in that vlog. If you haven't seen that vlog, I'll link it up in the cards. And then last but not least, as part of my like series challenge, there were like 3 big series that I wanted to read, but the 2 big ones that I wanted to finish this year were Malazan and Stormlight Archive, which Stormlight Archive, I only have 2 books left, but I was in the middle of Rhythm of War. But for February, I think I'm gonna put Rhythm of War on pause, instead do the Discworld books because I'm really into them right now. Like The Color of Magic, I am almost done with. Like I have an hour left in the audiobook and I'm enjoying it a lot. So I have a feeling I'm gonna pick up the Light Fantastic like right afterwards. I would not be surprised if I finish that this weekend as well. So for right now, that's the decision that I've made, and I'll get back to the Stormlight Archive in spring. So I did end up finishing The Color of Magic by Terry Prachett. This book, it was so much fun. It's following Rincewind, who is a failed wizard who ends up being the guide to this like completely naive tourist in their world. And I just had so much fun on their adventures, and like it was just a fun novel overall. Like I don't know why previously I had so much difficulty with it. Like I think I understand why, because there is pretty heavy world building, especially like in this first novel, because there's just so much that is so different about Discworld versus our world. But now that I like know the world that much, like the world building doesn't bother me that much, and I can just go along for the ride and have fun with it. So I ended up liking this a lot more than I was expecting, and I gave it 4 stars. I did start the Light Fantastic. I'm not super far into it, but I can see myself reading through that one really quickly as well. So I did a thing. I found out that Abby Jimenez had a like short story in the Part of Your World universe, and it's called The Situationship, which is following Maddie, who is the best friend of Emma from Just for the Summer, and Doug, who's the best friend of Daniel from Part of Your World. So I decided to pick it up. It's super short. Like it took me maybe 30 minutes to read it, not even like 20 minutes to read it probably, but I enjoyed it so much. It was just fun and lighthearted, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. It definitely like made me feel hopeful, so I did like that. And I do think that it just made me remember the world a little bit more. It does have like a preview to Say You'll Remember Me in like the ebook, so I do think I will get to that soon because I am really excited for her next book. So I'm thinking I'll probably read it like maybe next week or something like that, not right away. But I am glad I decided to pick this one up. I ended up giving it 4 stars just because there's not that much to it. Like it's super short. If it was longer, maybe I would give it more, but I did like it for what it was. Did I pick up the wrong book? Because for a second there, I thought I was rereading Fourth Way again. Because isn't that the book in which the main character is forced into the highest order of a ruthless military academy because their mom is the leader of it? That's what happens in this book, at least to one of the main characters. The other main character's point of view is completely different. I'm actually enjoying this a lot more than I was expecting to. By the way, this is Sunday, February 2nd. I did start An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I am not super far into it, just right about there now. That's 30 pages read, and Elias's point of view feels so similar to Violet's at the beginning of Fourth Wing that I, like, for a second there, I was just like, is this a trope in romantasy that I just was not aware of until now? I do realize that Ember in the Ashes was written, like, way before Fourth Wing was, so this is probably the predecessor of that, like, trope or that thing existing, so I don't know how much I like that, but I actually enjoy this military academy. I like the world building of this military academy more than Baskayeth, at least so far. Like there hasn't been that much of it. Like there was only 1 chapter in like the military academy itself, but I'm really interested to see what's going on here because he is being trained to be a mask, which basically is like a very powerful part of the military. Like the masks, at least from what we've seen of them, seem like the special most powerful part of the military, and like they're called masks because they have the silver masks that go over their face, and apparently it like adheres to their skin and like becomes part of them, which is like creepy and gross and weird, but also like it's good world building. So I am quite excited for that part of the story. And then the other part of the story, Leia, I think that's her, I don't know if that's how you pronounce her name. I'll have to listen to part of the audiobook just to get it, but because every time I say that, I think of Princess Leia, you know, like from Star Wars. But anyways, her point of view is so heartbreaking. Like, I don't even want to say what it is because I feel like it's a spoiler, even though it happens in like the first 30 pages of this book. But I am like absolutely there for this book right now. I'm enjoying it so much and I cannot wait to see what happens. I mentioned earlier that I think this could be a new favorite of mine, and I definitely think it is. I borrowed the physical books from the library for like the 3rd through 4th books in this because I wanted to have it just in case I wanted to binge read it, but I wasn't sure if I was gonna binge read it, but I feel like I will. And I kind of want to buy the physical books for them because I have a feeling they're gonna be new favorites for me. Like, I just have a feeling because the writing is immediately something that I'm growing attached to, and I like the world building so far. Like, the world building has been really good. Like, it's gotten to the point where like I kind of forgotten myself while I was reading. Like, I got so immersed in the story that I was not like thinking about the writing or thinking about if I was liking the book or not. Like, I was just reading, and I like that. I like it when I can like just get lost in the story like this. So I am really enjoying this one. Should I be doing other things today? Sure, I should. What have I actually been doing? I've been reading Ember in the Ashes, and I've been enjoying it so much. Like, I am almost done with it. I think I'm gonna finish this probably tomorrow. I knew this was a book that I could probably like blaze through, and I really am. I'm enjoying this so much more than I was expecting to. So this is like, I mean, it's classic YA fantasy, but in a way that I absolutely love it. I will say, I do think Fourth Wing is heavily inspired by this series. Like, you cannot convince me that it's not, because Elias is like the simulacrum of like Violet. So then Marcus would be Jack Barlow because Jack Barlow hates Violet for no reason, and Marcus hates Elias for no reason. And then Helene would be Dane because Helene is very much like loyal to the Empire and like all about the rules, but is still like in love with Elias. And then Dane is loyal to Basgiath, all about the rules, and is kind of in love with Violet. And then of course that would mean somehow Xaden and Laia would be like the parallels to each other, which I don't know if that quite fits because Xaden is like super powerful and Laia is always calling herself like weak, but they are both part of the rebellion, and Xaden was kind of like the son of the leader of the rebellion, and Laia is the daughter of the leader of the rebellion. So I'm just saying there are clear parallels between these two stories, but I think this one's better. Like, I really do. Like, I think it's so well written and the world building is really well done, and I feel like the characters, I actually love them, and I like how you get to see how their minds work. The two like main characters, at least Elias and Laia, I'm enjoying this. I'm excited to see where the world building is going because it does seem like there's gonna be more like magical things happening, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, I'm liking this a lot more than I was expecting to. I feel like a lot of times I kind of like discount like the popular YA because I just assume they're all gonna be the types that I didn't like, but like this is actually good and I'm enjoying it quite a bit, so I'm really excited to see where this is going. I did switch to the audiobook a little bit just because I do have to do other things at times, but I'm not having problems with the audiobook the way I did the first time I tried. So I've switched between the audiobook and the physical book, and I think I'm going to continue on doing that for the rest of the series because I actually really like being able to switch between the two. So I'm enjoying this quite a bit and I cannot wait to see where this series goes. And also, I forgot to mention this morning, I did finish The Light Fantastic by Terry Pratchett. I enjoyed this a lot more than I was expecting to. This is the sequel, of course, to The Color of Magic, and it's one of the Discworld books. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I like this one even more than The Color of Magic, which I didn't really expect to love it more because I thought The Color of Magic might have been like a fluke, but I really like this. I think it's because I'm like into the series now. Like the further I get into the story, and like I actually like love the world building, and I'm like enjoying the jokes a lot more. Like, there's just so many like jokes in the way that Terry Pratchett describes things. Like, there are like metaphors and things that are just like, why would you use that particular metaphor to describe this? But at the same time, I'm loving that you use that metaphor. You know what I mean? I found myself like laughing out loud multiple times while reading this book. So yeah, I love this a lot. My favorite character is the luggage. If you haven't read this book, then you don't know what I'm talking about, but the luggage is the best. And yeah, I don't even know what else to say about this. I ended up giving this one 4.25 stars, so slightly higher than The Color of Magic. And I'm excited to see what the series has to offer because now that I'm into it, I feel like this is gonna be a new favorite series of mine. So I do have the audiobooks for both Equal Rites and Sorcery. So I'm gonna pick up one of them tomorrow, like on my commute. I haven't decided which yet. Thinking maybe Equal Rites, but mostly just because I only have 7 days left on this. And then Sorcery, but Sorcery following Rincewind, who was the main character of The Color of Magic and The Light Fantastic. So I might just decide to stay with those characters because I don't know anything about the witches yet. But a lot of people seem to like the witches series, so maybe I haven't decided yet, but it's gonna be one of these two, and I'm definitely excited for it as well. So it is Monday, February 3rd, and the ambiance this morning is like right out of a thriller novel. Like the mist is obscuring like these leafless forests. I mean, they're not completely leafless because it's Florida, so they're like half the trees are green, but you can't tell this morning because of like just the thick, heavy mist. And I'm sure by the time I get out to go back home, it's gonna be like sunny and bright, but I'm kind of liking the ambiance. I kind of wish I had a thriller novel audiobook to listen to in the car ride over. Last night, I spent way too long staying up reading An Ember in the Ashes. I did not finish it. I think any other book I would have finished because I only have like 40 pages left. But something happened towards the end where I'm just like, I don't know where we go from here. I learned quickly with the Fourth Wing series that if I just stay with those moments longer, I end up loving the book more. So I'm gonna wait till tonight when I get home to read the last 40 pages or so. I might not be able to wait all the way till tonight. Just knowing me, I'm probably only gonna wait till I get home, so like this afternoon. But either way, I'm gonna wait till I get home to read the last 40 pages, and we'll see where this ends up going, because I'm a little heartbroken right now, and I don't even know what to do with myself. Like, honestly, this book has pulled me in a way that no other book has this year so far, and I am loving it so much. Now, for my audiobook this morning, because I didn't want to continue on with An Ember in the Ashes, I decided to pick up Equal Rites by Terry Prachett. So the reason why I picked this one over Sorcery is just because the library hold, I only had like 5 days left on Equal Rites, and I have like 20 days left on Sorcery, so I have plenty of time to get to Sorcery, even if I don't get to it right away. But Equal Rites, I do have to get to it this week if I do want to get to it, which I do, and so far I'm enjoying it quite a bit. It's following a girl who was accidentally made a wizard, and she's the first female wizard, which is apparently different than witches, because there are also witches, and I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm not super far into it, obviously, but I'm really excited for this. I finished An Ember in the Ashes. I don't know how I feel about that last little bit. It did not go in any direction that I thought it was gonna go, but I did like a lot of the things that happened. Like, we got backstory of some of the other characters, and there were a few like twists and turns that I really ended up liking. So I'm excited to see where the next book goes in the series. I feel like most series, like, I have kind of an idea of what I'm expecting the story to go, and for this one, I kind of have no idea where the story is gonna go. So it could be quite interesting to see where the next book goes. I ended up liking this so much. There were like parts of this that this could have gone a little harder in the story than it did go, and so because of that, I'm giving it 4.75 stars, but this came really close to me for a 5-star read. It is Tuesday, February 4th. Had a long drive today, and on the drive, I did finish Equal Rites by Terry Prachett. I enjoyed this so much. I think this is my favorite of all of the Discworld books so far, and in total, I've read 5 of the Discworld books. I think The Witches might be one of my favorite series. I think part of it is like there is kind of politics involved. I mean, it's called Equal Rites, so like obviously there's a level of politics involved, and it's the type of politics that I enjoy. I do like the main character a lot. She's probably like my favorite of all of the main characters, and I did like Granny as well. Granny was fantastic. Granny was like the mentor type character that I've always wanted to see in books like this, so I enjoyed it quite a bit. I can't decide whether I want to give it 4.25 stars or 4.5 stars. I think 4.25 stars is where I'm gonna go, but then I think that like I gave The Light Fantastic 4.25 stars also, and I like this more than The Light Fantastic, only slightly more. Like, I like them both quite a bit, so I'm really happy with how much I've been liking Discworld recently. So afterwards, I needed to start a new audiobook. I was planning to start Sorcery because I knew there was a good chance I was gonna finish Equal Right on the drive, and I was planning to start Sorcery, but I just felt like I wanted to be more into something for longer, like even just an audiobook. I feel like I've been going through things a little too fast recently, but I knew if if I did sorcery, I would probably finish it just as quickly as I did the other Discworld books. So instead I decided to pick up Wall of Storms by Ken Liu. So this book, I was considering going back to Rhythm of War because that's kind of what I was thinking about picking up, but like there's a reason I put down Rhythm of War. I wanted something similar to Rhythm of War, but not Rhythm of War. Or I guess I should say, I wanted something similar to the Stormlight Archive, but not the Stormlight Archive. And the Dandelion Dynasty, I think, at least the first book in the series, The Grace of Kings, was very similar to The Way of Kings, and they have the same audiobook narrator. So I was like, this might be a good option. And the Dandelion Dynasty was the series that I pulled for my series challenge. And even though I at least start it physically, like I wasn't planning to start it this week, I kind of don't mind that I started it because I'm enjoying it so much. Like, this is different than I was expecting it to be. It's very different than the previous novel because like the main characters seem to be the children, and I like the relationships between them so far. There's humor in this that I was not expecting because I feel like the first novel didn't have humor in it. At least I don't remember it having humor in it. So I like that about it as well. So I'm enjoying this quite a bit. If I had known that I was going to start this book this week though, I definitely would have brought the physical book because I did not bring the physical book. Instead, I brought the physical books for The Empire's Ghost and Torch Against the Night because I do want to start Torch Against the Night. And The Empire's Ghost I am enjoying quite a bit. I actually did make progress on The Empire's Ghost, and it got to a point, the point that I have been waiting for a while now. So I cannot wait to get to the hotel because I am going to try and read it, even though I already know I don't like reading physical books at hotels, but it's fine. We're going to go past that and I'm going to read because the part that I have to get to in The Empire's Ghost is a part that I'm really excited for. So I don't know. I'm liking everything that I'm reading this week. I'm definitely out of my reading slump. I think I'm getting close to like a reading high. Like this feels similar to like March 2019 is what I'm thinking of. I'm pretty sure that's the month I did a 30 and 30. I don't think I'm gonna do that this month. At least I'm not gonna attempt to do that. But since I did put down Rhythm of War in favor of switching to Discworld this month, just because that's what's working for me more, technically 9 Discworld books would be the equivalent of 1 Stormlight Archive book. 9, maybe even 10 Discworld book would be the equivalent. So it wouldn't be that weird if I read that many Discworld books, would it? I don't plan to. Like maybe I'll do like 6 or 7. I've already done 3 in like 3 days. So I feel like 6 or 7 would be a good number. So that's what I'm gonna shoot for. But if I do a few more, I'm not gonna have a problem with it. We'll see though. Like some of the books, I do have to wait a while for the audiobooks to come in. I'm really excited for Discworld. I'm also really enjoying Wall of Storms, which I wasn't expecting. It's super long though. Like the audiobook is 29 hours of the audiobook. So I really don't think I'm gonna finish that this week. I doubt it. I might pick up sorcery in between like sections of the audiobook because I do want to continue on with sorcery this week as well. But I also have a Torch Against the Night. I do want to continue on with the Ember and the Ashes series as well. So I do think I'll pick up Torch Against the Night. I think I'm going to try and finish The Empire's Ghost first before picking up a Torch Against the Night though. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but have you guys tried hotel beds? Because it's only been 2 days, but it's given my back some issues. Like I can't even right now with those, but it's okay. Thursday, February 6th now. I haven't made a whole lot of progress. I've been quite busy the last couple of days. I really haven't had a lot of free time, but I made a bit of progress on The Empire's Ghost. I still didn't get through the whole section that I wanted to get through. Like I read the part that I wanted to read, but like it continues. So I'm excited to get back to that today. I think I'll have some time, but I have made quite a bit of progress on the Wall of Storms. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. There was a section in which there was like exams that reminded me very much of like the Poppy War. I realized that it's not like derivative of that. Like it's actually just inspired by the same thing, but I am really enjoying this. Like it is definitely like slow burn, but I'm enjoying this so much. It has a lot of different characters and I think I like almost all of them. So yeah, this is really good so far. I'm excited to see where it goes. Also, I haven't really seen magic in this or anything like that. I also want to understand how this is fantasy because right now it's just like very politically driven historical fiction almost. I know that there's fantasy elements involved because I believe I remember some from the last book, but this book, it feels like a new series. Like it feels like The Grace of Kings was a prequel to this series, and like I'm okay with it. It just makes it easier for me to read this book. So I'm enjoying this a lot so far and I'm excited to continue on with it. So yesterday I was officially stressed out. So I did two things to help with this. One, well actually number two, the second one I did was I went to the beach yesterday after work because the hotel that I'm staying at right now, or the one that I was staying at, was only 6 minutes away from the beach. So like, how can you come to a hotel that's only 6 minutes away from the beach and not even like go to it? So I went for sunset yesterday. I didn't have too much time before sunset to go because I worked a little bit later than I expected to yesterday, but I did get to pick up The Empire's Ghost for a little while and picked up the like part where I left off that I was excited for, and it continued, but it got too dark to continue reading, so I had to go back to the hotel. I didn't want to read in the bed. I don't know why, I just don't like reading hardcovers in bed. So like I just stopped and like watched YouTube videos and stuff after that. So when I get home today, I am excited to get back to that part of The Empire's Ghost because I am enjoying it quite a bit. It's finally like super political and a lot of like big characters that I'm excited about are meeting, and I really like that. But the first thing I did was I did switch my audiobook from Wall of Storm to not sorcery. I know you're expecting sorcery, but instead to The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. The reason why I did that one is it's similar to Discworld in like its style because it's like funny but still like speculative fiction. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is obviously science fiction versus Discworld, which is fantasy, and it's also quite political, so I feel like it's gonna have the same feel as Discworld but a different world, which I do like exploring like different universes and worlds, so I'm excited for that. And I also only had 2 days left on the audiobook hold for my library, and this is a book that I've been wanting to read, and there were like 5 people waiting, so like if I gave it back I'd have to wait like weeks to get it back, and I actually do want to get to this book, so I'm enjoying it so far. I'm finding it quite hilarious and I'm excited to continue on with it. I probably will finish it today because I'm about to hop on the road for about a 3-hour drive, so I'm excited for that, and more thoughts on it after my drive. Oh, and by the way, I'm not pausing Wall of Storms. I just wanted something really quick that could like just give me a little uplifting my spirit, and then I'll get back to Wall of Storms when I finish Hitchhiker's Guide. So it is Saturday, February 8th, and yesterday I did finish The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. I enjoyed this way more than I was expecting to. It's not only like humorous and kind of absurd at times, but I think like the ideas that it tries to explore are incredibly interesting. It is obviously a sci-fi, but like at the beginning of the novel, our main character is like literally laying down in the front of a bulldozer because his house is gonna get bulldozed over because apparently it needs to go to make way for a highway. But before like he can figure that whole situation out, the entire world is destroyed to make way for intergalactic highway or something like that. And so like it starts off really strong. Any book that starts off with the destruction of the earth, I feel like starts off really strong, but like it doesn't end there. Like there's definitely so much that goes into this book, and it's such a small book too that so much could go into it. Like I can't even like explain, but I think what made me enjoy this book so much is that it made me feel about like think about humanity in a different way, because it not only made humanity feel so small and insignificant as to be completely unimportant, but also incredibly important at the same time, which is like, it's hard to do that. It made me enjoy this book so much. I ended up giving it 4.5 stars because I enjoyed it so much. Like I was surprised I gave it a better rating than any of the Discworld books because I was kind of liking it like on par with those, but I feel like this one had a little bit more structure to like the themes and to like the ideas that it was dwelling into that made me like enjoy it even more. So I'm excited to move on to the other books in the series. I think I will wait till like next month though because I just have so much that I want to work on right now. I'm almost done with The Empire's Ghost. Oh, I'm holding it backwards on my bed. I'm right about there now. I don't know where the dust jacket is. I'm gonna go and try and finish this now because I'm really excited to see where the ending is going. So I finished The Empire's Ghost and I'm so torn. I don't know if I should give this 3 stars or 5 stars because I don't know if I think this is brilliant or if I'm just frustrated by it, because there are some things that happen and things that we find out that I'm just like, if I had known this at the beginning or at least learned it throughout the story, I would have enjoyed this book so much more. I didn't know it, so I didn't enjoy it that much. And like there are other things where like there's 2 characters in particular, like I really wish they had point of views, because if they had point of view chapters, this book would have been so much more interesting. But also like I feel like it was almost purposefully done that way, because remember the character Gravis, who I was like, he's kind of just trying to figure things out the way I'm trying to figure things out, and like I didn't really understand his point in the story. I understand his point in the story now. I actually really like him as a character now. It's kind of like we're in his shoes shoes, trying to figure out what's going on, or like we're a character in this world trying to figure out what's going on as a reader. From that perspective, it's kind of brilliant. I enjoyed this book a lot, mind you, and I'm really excited for the next book in the series because now that I know what this book is about and kind of where it's going, it makes me even more excited to continue on with it. Whereas at some points in this book, I considered potentially putting it down for a while because I was just like, I don't know where this is going, and it's really slow, like really, really slow. And if it wasn't the type of book that I knew I would like it was hit all of the points of the types of books that I like, I probably wouldn't have continued on with it. Because of that, I honestly don't know who I would recommend this to. I can't think of a single person that I know that I would recommend reading this book, because I feel like a lot of people would probably just give up on it halfway or 3/4 of the way in and not get to the good parts. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about this book right now. I don't know what to say about it. I don't know, because anything I say about it at this point is gonna be spoilers, but I enjoyed it so much, and yet I was also really frustrated with it so much at times. So yeah. I'm gonna give it a flat 4 stars, halfway between the two. So I feel like I'm gonna reread this at some point in the future and it's gonna end up being a 5-star book. But for now, we're gonna leave it at 4 stars and be happy with it. So that is all I have for you. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up to support my channel. I post at least 1 video per week, but I've been posting a ton of bonus videos, so consider subscribing. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.